What's up, everybody? How's it going? Welcome back to another episode of BAFSAF. We're on season 2, episode 2. Um, how how's your day? I'm so spent. I've had not the greatest day, not the greatest week, but how have you been? How's your week? How's it going? It's the holidays. It's getting colder. Our last episode was about seasonal depression and stuff. How are you handling it? If you're not doing well, you came to the right spot. We'll be sad together. But I hope things are going well. Things are going well. Okay, we're gonna be all right. Yeah, it's been a rough. It's been rough. Not like with the normal stuff. It's just been new things. I won't get into it because we have a good topic to talk about today. But yeah, it's been rough, as you can see. It's been rough, but we're good. We're good. We're here. We're good. We're gonna get into it. Um, I have nothing left. So let's. I'll let that load. Don't know what just happened, but all right. Okay, if you are in the Wichita Midwest area, be expecting this weekend to be decent but brisk. Dress appropriately. We're gonna have mostly sunny skies from Friday to Monday, with Monday being high 55, low 37. Saturday is gonna be a high 63, low 49. Sunday is a high 66, low 35. Warmest day of the week, Sunday. Okay. Monday is some bull. High of 46, low 29. Get your blankets out, get your space heaters, get ready for it. And everyone's getting sick. Get your vitamin C up. Stop messing around. Health, we gotta be concerned about our health. Do better. Drink your tea and honey. If you don't do honey, tough it up. Tuesday, high of 50, low 35, as well as Wednesday. We're getting to a cloudy because Thursday it's going to be a high of 44 and a low of 24, and it's going to be raining and snow, apparently. Get your salt out too. Start getting ready to de-ice the ground and your windshield. Yeah. Bring it back to, it's gonna be colder the next day, Friday, high 40, low of 27. Some sun. Bring it back to warmth on Saturday the 30th, high 43, low of 28. It's not gonna be that warm. It's cold because it's partly cloudy, mostly cloudy. It says partly, but look at that. Where the sun at? Sunday the 1st. We're done with. It's supposed to be raining and snowing on Thanksgiving. I just blew right past that and didn't even acknowledge the fact that it's a holiday. Drive safe, everybody, for real. Sunday, okay. Monday and Tuesday, high of 38, low of 19 to 24. It's gonna be cloudy for the rest of December. Wednesday the 4th, high of 42, low of 27, and Thursday the 5th, when we're probably gonna be revisiting again. So I'm gonna do the last Thursday as well. Oh, I don't know about that. We might just have to miss that Thursday. That's Thanksgiving. I might check in. I might see how y'all doing. We'll see. High 44, low 28, partly cloudy. And as always, the weather in the Midwest and Wichita area is subject to change. Saw a couple people pop in, probably just scrolling through, what do you call it? Shorts? Much to look at. I'm too much to look at. You can't handle all this beauty and sexiness. Okay. Get there. You're gonna get there. Alright. I felt it necessary, but also interesting to want to talk about gut instinct. Title of this episode, if you haven't seen it already, because you're probably illiterate, feel it to believe it. Yeah, I mean, to go from talking about being able to pull yourself out of tough situation, you know, coming to this topic of what you may be feeling, what you may be experiencing, could be something that we're going to talk about today. So we're going to figure it out. If you experience it, if not, you're going to understand what it is. And if you do experience it, you may be able to have a deeper understanding of what you're experiencing, how you can channel it, to brain it, to understand it, to believe in it, utilize it for good, greatness, not for evil. But yeah. Oh, there we go. Yeah, don't mind me. I'm being stupid. Part tired, part wired, part hurt. Okay, so trusting your gut instinct. You may have felt it before. You may recognize it. You may understand what I'm talking about. You may not even believe it due to whatever reasons that are keeping you from believing it. Don't know, but we're gonna figure it out. So, topic is trusting your gut instinct. We all have gut feelings, intuition, hunches, deeper knowing. It stems from instinct, spirit, your soul. I want to create a deeper understanding of what you're potentially experiencing and how you can channel it. Popping in with us is my little ugly ass brother Jaden. What's up, bro? How's it going? I'm just messing with you. Gotta get you back for all the times you be talking. Love you too, dude. Love you too. So, what is gut instinct? What is that feeling that you may be getting that's alerting you that you just don't understand at certain times around certain people? Just letting you know something's up. You may feel it down here. You may feel it in here. Hands in your back. You may feel it. You just don't understand. You might call it anxiety. You might have a different term for it. I don't know. Get into it. What is gut instinct? The feeling of awareness, flood of emotions at an instance, certain situations that call for it. So you may just be sitting there chilling, or you could be out in public. Next thing you know, you just get this sense of like fear or sadness. You know, maybe even just wanting to be alert, check your surroundings. If you allow yourself to dive deep and feel that, you may come to understand why you're feeling that. The sensation can range from physical to emotional, or be both at the same time. There are multiple ways to decipher what you're feeling, but it all boils down to the same result. Depending on your belief you follow, how your lifestyle is, you can consider it as religious, consider it scientific, or spiritual. Scientifically, it's been researched that it can be a mix of emotions and past experiences that can cause the brain to fire off signals to the gut as warning or alerts. How, you may ask? How is your gut is considered your second brain? Oh, we got Chan in the building. What's up, man? Glad to have you. Oh, this is a good stream already. Got to my brothers. Okay, cool, cool, cool. Uh, Glad to have you in. Thanks for stopping in. All right, so, yeah, brain is your gut is the second brain. It's a pathway between your gut and your brain that allows them to communicate physically and chemically. The gut's microbes, hormones, and neurotransmitters are also sending messages along the gut brain axis, like a channel. Can't see because this again it hurt. Google it. There's a channel that goes through here to there. The gut brain connection is bi-directional, goes up and down, meaning that the brain can influence the gut and vice versa. Brain to gut, the brain can influence the gut through an HPA axis, which is part of the limbic system. And yes, I am reading, copy and pasted from Google AI. The HPA axis coordinates the body's responses to stressors, release cortisol, a major stress hormone that affects the brain. So these two organs work in tandem. One alerting the other, vice versa, as I just read. So some people may get the feeling that starts up here. You may start having thoughts flood your mind and you just don't know how to control them. It kind of gets sporadic. You start to feel like what it means to be ADHD. Probably don't. But when you start having thoughts up here that just make you go, it may feel overwhelming. You may just take a moment to process things. You may get a point to where you're so thrown off, you kind of like don't know where you're at or what's going on. You may have a sense of confusion. Okay, take a moment to breathe deep, settle your thoughts, settle your mind. As I always say, roll your shoulders, twist the neck, and it may help you start to understand and process what around you has changed, whether it was, like I said, people, the environment, even energy, or it can be a big thing, and that can just be a gust of wind that you're getting from somewhere else, just like how seeds can carry over to other parts of land and grow in other areas by wind. Let's see, gut to brain, flipping it. The gut can influence the brain through the gut microbiome, which is made up of bacteria, viruses, and fungi that live in the gut. These microbes produce substances that can affect mood, cognition, and behavior. Religiously and spiritually, whichever you believe or follow, will potentially make you feel like you're receiving a sign, a warning, or a message. I separate it like that because people, they believe what they want to believe, and you can't necessarily force someone to believe what you believe or you feel, and it's okay. You gotta respect it. But just to separate like that, for example, a few things that you may understand a gut feeling when it comes to being religious, like for instance, being Catholic or Christian, you may feel like not to get too deep in the religion, but like the God that you believe in is there, or angels have touched you or are around you. If you're spiritual, you may believe that energy has shifted. You may believe that loved one, and this is the mix too. Loved ones that are visiting you are both spiritual and religious. Riri. Um, it's just whatever you believe and whatever you've been taught. When you start to feel those feelings, it does help to kind of center yourself and kind of sift through it, because you can easily confuse yourself with what you're experiencing. You can easily make yourself believe things that are happening, and you may be on the right track, but then if you allow yourself too much thought, you can veer off really quickly. Boom. Could have said it better, but I didn't. But thank you. Perspective. It's just, from what I've been able to gather with religion, you go by word, you go by teaching, you go by being able to hold a person of higher standard to have higher power than you do, Kind of in a sense like you're just a follower, being able to receive the good word. So, whenever something good happens, you may bow to the grace of God. You may start prayer. Something bad happens, you may start prayer because you want protection, you want safety, you want assurance. When it comes to a spiritual backing, whichever may that may lead you to, you understand that there is a connection or a disconnect with the universe and the energy around you, the people around you, or maybe you're unaligned yourself. So you may start to do practices. One big one that we all know is meditation. And you don't have to sit on your butt and cross your legs and do this and go, It could be a number of things that could be considered meditation. You know, a lot of it, as far as meditation, is centering yourself, clearing your mind, and practicing breathing. So you can do it standing, you can do it with your eyes closed, you can sit, you can do a mantra, you can hum, which creates vibrations to which we as energy react to. Um, however dive of a deep that you've taken to understand what you understand, you can apply that. So moving forward here, you may feel like it's an angel, guardian, loved one who's passed, or a reason to make your next decision. For example, I've always known about gut instinct since I was a young kid. Never really like followed it because I've always like not always, but whenever I would take a moment to listen to it, like it'd be fear based, especially being the older sibling in the house, having to, be the lead while the parents are away, work and stuff. Um, it kicks in a lot more because that what's that word? I don't know, but that safety net that you become that security for the people that you're leading. So you tend to be able to understand it more because you have to dive deep into making a decision that affects everyone, and you try to be as positive as you can about it. But sometimes you have to make sacrifices, sometimes you have to make tough decisions, and your gut instinct is a really big power play when it comes to those tough decisions. It can range from anything big or small as food related to something as dealing with a family member who's on their last, on their final days. You have to decide whether or not to pull the plug. It can be very tough. You don't have to be the eldest in your family to have to go through these experiences. It's a common denominator, but people live different lives. But you may have experienced some things on your own, and whoever is popping in, and feel free to share your experience, and we can share it together if you're comfortable. But I think for me, a lot of it was just being big brother and having to train myself at a young age to seek the the wrongs, the negatives, the bad habits, the behaviors, just everything that could have gone wrong. I have to play out those scenarios in my head to understand how I'm going to protect myself and my people. Also, it became my thing because it ventured out from my siblings to pretty much anyone that I meet. Even if I'm walking around in the grocery store, I prepare myself to be able to protect or help anyone around me, Um, gut instinct for me that would kick in this kind of predicament, though, is me, I would say, I really started to feel it. I remember this day vividly. I was at the mall, at the East Mall, for those who are familiar with the Wichita area, but we were in Champs, me, my brother, my dad, and started to get this feeling in my stomach that I was just like scared, and I didn't understand it. And I even remember telling my brother, like, dude, I feel scared for some reason. Like, I feel like something's gonna happen. He kind of looked at me like I was retarded. And I was just like, I remember looking at this um, rack of clothes, just shirts and stuff, and I was just kind of looking down, and I just felt like something didn't feel right, and I just was looking around, trying to understand why I felt this way, and I was expecting something to happen. Nothing happened, but it just made me very aware. So from that point on, whenever I felt that feeling here or right here, I would just kind of like pay attention to everything, my surroundings, and start to feel the energy around me. And I started to really pick up on it and understand something was alerting me about times ahead. It wasn't the best life and experience, but it helped me kind of understand people, helped me understand scenarios. Even I'm still young. Shut up. I'm still young, so I'm still learning like everyone else, and there's things I haven't experienced or haven't really experienced often as I could have that, are still kind of fresh and new. So when I have to understand what I'm going through, it's definitely strengthening um, my ability to ascertain that gift. We all have it. You may think you don't have it, you have it. And again, it doesn't have to be down here. You have it. Um, with with intuition, gut instinct, it can also make you feel like when not to make a decision. So, you can know when to make a decision, and you can know when not to. For me, I'll be honest, there are times where I want to be petty to people more recently than I have been in a while. I listen to it, the morality of it. It's something that I used to do. We've all done it. I was pretty bad about it. I was an asshole. Um, you couldn't tell me shit on my social media. I didn't care. Now I look back at it. You know how you get your memories every year, and you're just like, who is this person like posting all this dumb shit? Hate it. I'm disgusted with myself. But there are times I want to be revengeful, or times I want to be petty. There's times I want to speak my mind, let the words go. There are times I want to just do things and just not care about the consequences like most people do. And I hate it because it's a love-hate thing. A king roast. Dude, you couldn't touch me 8 years back. 5 to 8 years back. I was ruthless. I didn't care, and it was very toxic, very, very unhealthy. I'm glad I'm not entirely that way anymore. I'm still got some words, but I hold back. I hold back. But I hate it because I want to do so much harm to people sometimes, and I have to remain good because here's how you may all experience the same thing. Whenever I mess up, whenever I do bad, whenever I do something out of the what's the word? Selfishness of my heart and actions, that consequence hits me in the face and ass. Like I don't like it. For example, let's say I wanted to take my anger out on someone who did me wrong and I wanted to smash their car window. I would probably end up getting into a wreck, or something bad would happen to me. That's my luck. If I want to take actions in my own hands, my guardians will be like, you fucked up, right? You messed up, right? Okay. Well, here comes the thunder, and then boom, my life's a mess for a month. That's how it works for me. So I try to remain, as Chan said, humble, because if not, them consequences are gonna come hard. They will be heavy. Yes, and it sucks. It sucks. So karmic cycle. it follows me tough, and I follow it. I have to, because if not, I'm gonna struggle. I can't handle any more struggle. I will start my villain origin story real quick. I'm like, right there. One more thing to happen, and I'm just be walking around here like Heath Ledger's Joker. Burn the town. Moving on. So since we're talking about what it is, we can talk about what the symptoms are of having your gut instinct activated, your intuition flourishing, your deeper knowing flooding your brain. Side effects may include butterflies in your stomach, nausea. Like I said, when I was a kid in Chimps, I had this sense of fear and worry out of nowhere. I'm frolicking through the mall, window shopping my ass off because I don't have the damn money. We're in a shoe store. Probably not for me. But out of nowhere, I just like feel sad and scared. Couldn't tell you why. It lasted all of maybe 15 minutes. I know that's a big gap, but if I remember, I just kept feeling it for a little bit. Then we left the store, and I think it took me a minute or two to shake it off. But then I was like, man, that was weird. Shaky or sweaty hands. It almost, like I said, it almost may feel like it's an anxiety or panic attack. Tightness in the muscles through your body, especially shoulders, your neck, and your back. Tends to be the crucial spots where energy channels the heaviest. So if honestly, it doesn't really matter what you believe in because you're pretty much saying the same thing. But we're all made up of energy. However you want to believe it, scientifically, religiously, spiritually, it's all energy, it's all vibration. We're all connected. If you really want to put all the beliefs together, take hold on. Okay, I have to. I'm going to be respectful and not get my dad in the shot. Okay. Shit. Where were we? So I feel like all the symptoms that I listed off happened to me. And I feel like honestly, I've come to okay. So another word, not another word, but like another way of thinking about someone having a strong gut instinct is someone who's a strong empath. Now, if you're not sure what an empath is, let me look it up and then tell you because I can't really give you an actual definition. I have to look this shit. Okay, so an empath is the ability. or someone who can sense and experience the emotions of others on a deeper level than empathy. Oh, there's hyper empathy, a higher than usual level of empathy. So there's levels to this stuff, like a Super Saiyan. Okay. Um, while empath is not an official psychological term, many people claim to have empathic abilities. It's true. Some say that empaths can detect subtle emotional shifts and understand spoken feelings. That is also true, and we will go to that real quick. um, Others say that empaths can feel what others are feeling so deeply that they absorb or take on the emotions themselves. Yeah. Okay. Yes, because it was actually coinciding with my story that I was about to tell. Um, some say that empaths can be good listeners and can determine when someone's being dishonest. Yep. They can also improve someone's mood when they're sad, upset, scared, and overwhelmed. Tis ya boy. Superpowers. Got him. So some tips for empaths include acknowledging that you are an empath, conceited much, being responsible for yourself. It's called being an adult. Taking action to look for support or a coach or counselor. I don't need your help. Nurturing self-compassion, focus, and self-discipline. Check. Using visualization, movement, gratitude, mindfulness, and prayer as a part of your daily routine. We can trade prayer to be mantra. Words of what? Words of encouragement. Okay, so the whole emotional shift, unspoken feelings. So, okay, about me and my experience. We'll get all this will all tie in. I think my empath abilities are becoming stronger because it's starting to really affect my body. With the issue that I've been dealing with for the past month or two now, have greatly affected me to the point to where I've either been positively impacted or negatively impacted, but I've had to be able to sift through it and make that change. Where I come into play with empathic abilities, gut instinct, one, already told you about this. Keep up. Two, the tenseness that I was referring to in the shoulders for me, back. If I don't, like if I've, and this is for most people too. This is why stretching is a really, really good practice, daily practice. If I don't stretch often and I've had a stressful week, my back will tense up. I can pop it and crack it as many times as I want to, but the muscles and tissue I have to stretch because I get so tense that when I actually go to stretch and I haven't done it in a while, pulling it kind of hurts, but I'm used to the pain, so we're good there. But in the shoulders and neck area, what I've also been combating is constant migraines. And I've had that since the beginning of spring. And after making my recent changes, my migraines have almost subsided. I realized that it was due to constant stress, and that stems from unhappiness, depression, just everything that I was basically going through kind of told me that this wasn't out of nowhere. This was just for no reason, you know. I do have a point back here that I have to press on in order to alleviate this whole thing, but I digress. Shoulders, for me, I have to constantly, and this is why I'm telling you guys, constantly move your shoulders around, relieve the energy, relieve the tension. I get stiff back here, all across the back, and I have to constantly move this around because I'm feeling not only my own emotions, but I'm feeling the emotions of others. And so, like, when I can feel and see that energy in the air, mostly feel because I have to kind of like channel my eyes to see the energy in the air. Um, I get tense because it's a lot to handle, and I'm learning to do that because what I have understood about my previous job in the past, working at the bar, I would literally dread going to work. because one, my life just wasn't great. Two, it was work and I'm dealing with people's problems at a bar, just a lot of stuff. A lot of stuff, won't go into it. I had a lot of good experiences, but a lot of bad ones too. Um, Not to blame anyone, that's just life. But my thing would be, as soon as I reach the building, I touch the door handles, I'm depleted. Like, I'm so tired, I'm so annoyed. And the crazy thing was is that not only have I been able to find help and comfort through the people that I've met and just being there, people have felt the same from me. People have felt the same from other people. Chan has been there. Sean's been there. Um, my brother, I introduced him to the place, but he hasn't like been there to experience what we've all been through. And that's how we're so close. We're so bonded. But that place is a cesspool of darkness and negativity, and you can either grow from it or you can let it take you over. And some people, including myself for a little bit. It took me over for a little bit. Yeah. Well, I stuck there for so long because I was just kind of stuck, helping other people with their problems, and I had my own. But that's just me. I do that. I tend to forget about myself because I'm trying to help other people physically, emotionally, mentally, you know. But like I would constantly, even it's not even just like muscles and everything. Like you may notice weight gain, weight fluctuation, temperament. Just out of nowhere, you might feel angry or sad, like I did as a kid. Like your emotions are just like shot. You may feel like you just like, as a man, you may feel like you have hormones, more hormones than you should have. And for women, you may just feel like you are close to being on your monthly cycle, and it's probably, confusing. Just a kind of example, not to, anyway, I'm not taking it back. But it's a number of things. It's variety of experiences. And like I said, for me, I touch the door handles and I'm walking in, like, and everyone would know it, that I don't hide my emotions. So everyone knew this thing. Like, I'm walking in with an attitude. I'm not walking in with one. I don't want to be here. So, I'm not bringing baggage from home. It's just like, this place sucks. But like I would need a few hours to just kind of like process being there, getting in my flow, calming down. Like, it was crazy. And the more people that would come, like, it helped being in the back of the building by myself, because everyone else being up front, drinking, have a good time, emotions are all over the place. So that means energy is all over the place. Like, it attaches to me. And especially when I'm vibing with people, I'm talking with people, I'm sharing stories, I'm helping people through their situations. Not only does the empath side of me take their emotions and I feel them so I can help be a better listener and understanding of their situation and do my best to give the best advice, but because I'm taking that in to, you know, cycle that and feed them positivity, it sets, and I didn't learn how to release it. So everyone's problems literally became my problems, not necessarily in that sense, but like that load that they just got off of their chest for being able to talk to me or laugh and have a good time, like, it attached to me. So I'm like walking with the heavy burden, and it was just stressful. Feelings of being bipolar. Thank you for making me feel closer to that diagnosis. I love Jen. No, he gets me. We get each other. But and then I've kind of always been intuitive with being able to sit with people and just kind of understand, not necessarily needing to have to share that emotion, because I'm pretty like robotic and monotone sometimes when I'm talking to people or like listening. But like, just I could put myself in someone else's shoes fairly easy. Um, Snake face. uh, yeah, I can put myself in someone's shoes easily, and then crazy because I'm very, sometimes I can be quick with resolution, but then sometimes, like now, especially as I'm growing and doing better with it, I have to sift through some of those of advice and be like, is this really going to help? Are they going to take this the right way? just kind of get to that understanding of being able to say as few words as possible by helping them, because some people, I get to the point to where I'm talking and then people are just like, uh-huh. Yeah, so anyway, about me, again, me. I get cut off, I get interrupted. I have to kind of be like a Jedi, like Yoda. Say as few words as possible, but say as much as you can in few words as possible. Samurai shit, you know? Hence the fit. Fine. I do look good today though. But yeah, so you may understand where I'm coming from with your own experiences. You may be empathic. You may just kind of understand what it actually means. You may have an empathic friend or family member who's been trying to tell you how they feel, and now you're hearing someone else is feeling the same way, and you're probably going, "Oh, you're both crazy," or "Oh, they're not the only one. They're not." Um, Me personally, I think being empathic is definitely a challenge. It's a gift and a curse, because sometimes that deeper knowing of, and this isn't to say with the smartest people. Some people are empathic and they kind of, but it's not to say with the smartest, but like to be able to sit and process life just by looking at the smaller things, and then like having some kind of intricate way of being able to understand it and put it all together, and then later on you hear some scientific breakdown of your thought process and you're like, holy shit, I was right. I have that a lot. So I've actually started to, the butterflies and nausea, um you're easy to open up to. Aw, thanks babe. uh oh, I gotta get my chapstick. Y'all see me licking my lips like LL Cool J? God damn. We're up, buttercup, you in for a good time tonight. All right, anyway, um the butterflies, I've had more butterflies than I've had nausea. I and it's rare that I get nauseous, but now I think about it, I had nausea today out of nowhere for no reason. I just felt sick. But there were times where I just didn't feel, like my stomach would get tight and something just didn't feel right, and then lo and behold, something happened. So I think more now that I'm more in tune with it, it's nausea. I do. I will say this: I do get nausea or a tight stomach when there's like heavy negative energy around. Um, Deceit, treachery, any negative term that you can think of. It's just it doesn't have to be like someone's personal trait. Sometimes it could just be a lingering or it's like something dark. And you know, for those who are looking at me and watching and going, "Oh man, what the hell is he talking about? This spiritual nonsense and energy and stuff." You have to be able to experience it to understand. I'm not trying to blow smoke up anyone's butt, but these are the awarenesses that I'd like to instill in people, because there's a deeper reality that you can see and feel from people instead of. And look, trust me, what I'm about to say isn't an attack, because I do it too. And this is adulthood at its finest. We get so one-track minded and so linear about our life that that we we're just so focused on our life and our own happiness that we stop paying attention to everything that's in front of us. Like, the best way I can explain it, to start feeling what like, if you want to, if you want to, it's just a start. It's not gonna like throw you into the fire of it, but allow yourself to be. Hold on. What up? Hurry up. Hurry up. How much time? Trying to be respectful. The fuck was I saying? Yo, what was I saying? It's starting to come back to me. Shit. Me and my good heart. Bad energy? Yeah. Be more specific. I know you were listening. I felt like I was on to something. This little nosy ass motherfucker trying to be open the camera and stuff. Kids, man, I swear. Ugh. I felt like I was onto something, but I'll just pick up where I feel like I can leave off. Um, uh, oh, bad energy, being able to dispel it, something like that. But there's a way that you can alleviate the energy. Oh yeah. Oh, okay. I got it. I got it. Okay. So give it a try. Here's one thing that we miss when it comes to experiencing life as a, as someone who's open-minded or an empath. Allow yourself to be open and free by just looking at the trees, looking at grass, looking at life. Just like let the wind blow through you and with you. Let your heart open up to the fact that that tree is not just a tree. It's life. It can communicate. It can provide. It can do exactly what you're doing, but it don't walk. Some of them. That's kind of the starting point, is once you allow yourself to just be open with feeling life, breathing life, paying attention to life, watching bugs operate, watching birds fly and move around, just become one with nature, just allowing yourself to be a unification with nature. It's a good start because you start to get this sense of freedom. Like you get to feel freedom, you get to feel peace, and you just like drink it all in and you just like let everything wash away. It's a really good start. I was talking about nausea. Yeah, I was. You missed the part where I was about to talk about the trees, though. But we'll go back to nausea since you want to feel sick. The nausea part, uh, yeah, nausea part was just more so when I started to feel heavy energy. Just didn't feel right. Just something didn't feel right. That's all I can really say. And you may have experienced before where you're just sitting there or you're around people or maybe you're in public and you just be like, something don't feel right. And something happened. Something may happen. Something probably did happen. It could be a big event that happened and tragedy struck, or maybe somebody did something you didn't like. But if you get that gut feeling, if you get that feeling through your body or it's just anywhere, that sense of fear, your hands get clammy and sweaty, and you just get that sense of like something's not right, start paying attention to your surroundings, start asking questions, start, talking to people, start making people aware to be aware with you, because that energy could also channel to someone else. Maybe someone else is feeling it, but they're not bringing it up because they're trying to ignore it. But it's so heavy for you you could be the one that people rely on, like, oh, I felt that too, but I didn't want to say anything. Well, let's start talking because something's about to happen. I've been in plenty of those situations. I don't do well in public. I'll be completely honest. Mentally, I do my best. I don't do well because I'm so trying to figure out what's going on and just be aware. Like I'm trying to be overly prepared. I have to like relax and calm down and enjoy whatever's going on at the time. It takes me a while to cope and comprehend, but I'm just like exits, people, faces, and just my mind and my soul is looking for something that I can like pinpoint. So I just keep my awareness up, but I don't have to handle into negativity. That's kind of what I also want to talk about too, is not only understanding your gut instincts, your intuition, but knowing how to channel it so it's not based on fear, it's not based on anger, it's not based on emotion. I must be seeing the messages late. Probably. I don't know. You kind of responded when I needed you to. I don't know. We're good. Okay. Comment after you see this. But yeah. That's just how it affects me. That's just how I experience it. Butterflies for sure. I don't know if it's synced up with your stream. I just got that. So how long ago did you send that? Point that. You have the butterflies. I do have the nausea. The shaky, sweaty hands. I've actually just started experiencing. So with the recent changes, whenever I have to engage with a specific person and a specific scheduled visit, when things started happening, well, after things had taken place and the changes were made, I would get the feeling of anxiety. I almost felt like I had a panic attack. These emotions would flood through me 2 hours before I had to be there, and my hands would just get sweaty and clammy, and like they'd get like damp, not like wet, but they'd get like damped, where it's just like you can tell, kind of damp. But I hated the feeling. It's not like as strong now. I hated the feeling because I knew there was just a lot of one, it stemmed from a lot of pent up anger and aggression and just unresolved issues in conversation. I'll be honest. It's still there, but it's not as strong. Like I'm doing way better with getting over a lot of things that happened recently and just coming to understand things and people. You can't change them, and you can't convince them to see your side or understand the truth of the matter. You can't convince people. Sometimes you just gotta let people go and be them. They're gonna have some kind of narrative about you, and it can be wrong, can be right, can be a mess, but you have to really understand. And this is short. I'm not gonna go too deep into it, but you gotta understand to really focus on yourself and what's best for you. People gonna be people, and as hurtful as it can be, there's no changing people. You gotta move on, and it sucks to say and hear because it's like, well, that's easy to be said, and it is. It's much easier for it to be said. You have to go through the motions. You have to understand to feel the feelings and the pain and the struggle, because you have to have that experience on getting yourself out of that hole, and also sharing it with someone who's going through it as well. Life is meant to be felt, not seen, not just seen. The experience is literally energy, and we have energy and emotion. This may sound cheesy, but think about all the cartoons, movies, animes, anything like that, any entertainment material where someone would get angry and they get stronger, they get faster, they have more cognizance. It's just like a superpower to have your emotions flood through you. It's true. I know for me, whenever I get angry, I definitely feel like I'm the freaking Hulk. Like I know for sure I puff up. Not big, like Hulk. I'm not a Hulk smash. No, I puff up though. I can feel it because my skin feels tense and I feel swollen. My body gets hot. Like I get very hot to the point to where it's like seeping heat. Um, I start steaming. I'm playing. I don't do that. I'm not a Titan. But no, like I definitely feel the heat, the energy, the adrenaline, the rush, and just like I become so like the cognition of being in that mental state is so overwhelming. I lose my sense. So I can almost understand what people feel like when they black out. I've never blacked out, but I can feel it because when I go into that sense of rage, I can't think straight. All I know is I have a path of anger. Get out of my way. And I hate it because this is how I know it's a real thing for me. My body is so exhausted after about 3 hours. 3 hours is like the limit for me in anger for some reason. But when I'm like in that bit of a rage and I'm just like huffing and puffing and just ready to destroy life, afterwards I'm so exhausted. I'm so tired. Like my energy is just depleted because I just like handled it all to just be like, you know, and you may have experienced it too. Maybe it's not anger, maybe it's sadness, maybe it's joy. Joy can do the same thing where like you just have this rush of emotion and energy through your body and you just can't sit still. Joy does it too. Happiness, joy, barely knew her. I regret that joke. But yeah, it's definitely a universal experience. Ken says, yep, letting go is the hard part, but the feeling of being free of the thing holding you down is bliss. Freedom is the term, is definitely what you're looking for. Yes. Because you have to think about it. Dark, negative emotions, whether they be your own or someone else's that they put on you, you have to think of it like a chain. And this is also a thing too. Like if you believe in it, when people pass, when they are no longer alive, if they hold any anger or revengefulness in their heart and their soul, that's one reason why they can be known to stick around is because they have unresolved issues that they need to deal with. And yeah, like they have to be as the bodiless a ghost. They have to be a ghost or a spirit and just kind of wander until they're settle that issue. So you have to think of it the same way too. Is that pain, trauma, anger, and sadness, all of that, whoever made you feel that way or whatever made you feel that way, if you hold on to that, you've created a chain and you've cuffed yourself to that person, event, or habit. You have to be able to break free of that chain in order to feel that freedom. You create a mental and emotional prison of yourself when you allow something in the past that has hurt you to remain with you. You got to break free of the chain, and it is a work in progress. I cannot be anyone better to attest to this right now. I'm still dealing with it. I'm not okay, but I'm all right. But I'm breaking the chain because what I wanted, what I seek, I find in everyone that I have impacted. I'm here for a reason, and my reason was being blocked because what chains I left on people and things. Now that I've, now that they're broken, well, I did break them. Yeah, I broke them. Broke them and got hurt. The guilt can be there. You can make a change for yourself for the better, and you can still feel pain. You can still feel hurt. You can still feel guilt. I felt all that because what I wanted for myself and for other people, I felt like a failure because I had to break that. I was losing my mind. I was losing my sanity. I didn't feel like myself. My health was getting bad. Uh, I just I couldn't do it no more, and to be on topic with this conversation, um, I had a lot of gut instinct, and we'll talk more about this. You can have gut instincts about people and their honesty and be right. Now, let's not confuse that with women's intuition because we are aware of the ideology of women's intuition, to which a lot of women can be right. I'm not going to dismiss that from them. But we also know the reality of women's intuition, where some women, and this isn't knocking women, but this is some women because people do it. But women, when it comes to women's intuition, you're allowing the thoughts and feelings to become reality, so you act on them and you mask it with the idea of women's intuition. And this is the crucial part about being able to train yourself to understand your gut feeling versus your thoughts and your emotions, all a trifecta that you need to combine in unison like yin yang and come together and just learn how to sift through everything. So your emotions can steer you the wrong way because you're feeling and wanting things to be a certain way. You're creating expectations with your thoughts. You're wanting to kind of make things reality, make them true. You want them to be your truth. So you're misconstruing the actual evidence and proof of what it is that you're trying to accept or deny. When you put those two together, what am I doing? When you put those two together in a negative light, emotions and thoughts. For the best example I can think of is if you have a partner and you find yourself wanting to go through their phone. You're starting to create scenarios in your head that make you believe there's something in that phone that you need to see. Guess what else is working? That gut instinct. Guess what's going to happen? You're going to find what you're looking for because you're putting scenarios in your head, you're putting emotions in your heart, but your gut is telling you there's something there, but these two aspects aren't entirely true. Because what happens in most cases? You go through the phone. Oh, I knew they were cheating. I knew this and that was going on. But what were you thinking? What were you feeling? They weren't all true, but you knew something was going on because so they have to unify. You have to be able to sift everything out because if you allow yourself to be in that darkness of thought and emotion where you believe you're right, it it can deteriorate you mentally and emotionally. Like it can also affect your health. So please don't let that happen. Find any way to cope and express and talk. You have to communicate. One way of being able to release that energy is communicate. Another is to be physically active in a positive way. Go run, go walk, exercise. You know, have sex. I don't. It worked for me, but I'm different. It's just you have to find a way to release that energy because if you hold that within, it starts to build up, and anything that builds up and sits, roller skate. I'm not. I, hey, how's it going? Thanks for stopping in. I appreciate you. Um, hope you're enjoying it. I've learned to not read names, so I'm just gonna be like roller skating. Okay. 'Cause I don't want to be one of those streamers who trips up and says something weird, and I'm cussing already, but I don't want to be those people like uh Mike Ock. Screenshotted it. Rewind and do it. But look, so anything that festers, anything that sits, it's you have to think of it like rot. So if you have energy that was negative or tarnished, you let it sit and it rots. What happens to rot? Rot expands, just like mold. Mold can expand and attach itself and grow. Um, that's what happens within you. When you let negative energy sit and fester, it rots and then it grows, it expands. So it can deteriorate your health, it can deteriorate your mental stability, it can deteriorate your emotions, it can deteriorate your path, your way of thinking, your light. And then you start to slip away from being able to hear and feel your gut instinct, your intuition. Okay, it says you don't want to have stress building up on your chest. You don't, because it's a heavy feeling. If you've ever had sleep paralysis and you felt like you've had the demon sitting on your chest, that's how it feels. Just feels like you can't breathe. You feel claustrophobic, and that's why if you don't want to consider meditation by just sitting there and trying to not have thoughts, use meditation as a way of breathing. Control your breathing. Start from down here, not in your stomach, not in your chest. Start from down here, because this is where one of your chakra glands are. And so one example I can share with you guys is that if you've ever watched Dragon Ball Z, whatever series that you wanted to get into, when you realize that they start to power up, they crouch and they crunch right here. It's because you're starting to squeeze that energy so it can be accessible to you. Even in Naruto, when they go to use their chakra, what's the stance? They crunch. You have to squeeze this part to be able to release the energy for you to use, and sometimes it can settle there too. But as far as a breathing practice, when you go to crunch, like when you're sitting there and it's already crunched up, like you're squeezing it, when you breathe, you draw your breath from down here, you're channeling all the energy, and it's acting as a filter. It's just going through your system, so you can take it all and breathe it out. So you breathe in through your nose, but you're channeling it from down here. So when you're breathing in, filling up your body, your chest, and you can start to feel like it's releasing, and you may even feel like it's cleaner for just a moment. Breathe in as deep as you can, breathe out through your mouth, and just like let it flow. Start to relax your shoulders, loosen up your shoulders, your neck. Do it a few times. That's what you can consider meditation. You don't have to sit there. Like I said, you don't do this. You don't have to. But if you're just wanting to relax and be in the moment, be present, even standing, just breathe like that. But back to, I really did need to kill some time, so I'm glad I did that. So back to the symptoms. Sweaty hands, tightness in the muscles, butterflies, nausea. You may be feeling it. You may have felt it. Again, that's all the areas where the energy can channel from. Even your feet. You may even get sweaty feet when something's happening. Like when your instincts is starting to kick in, you may even get sweaty feet or hot feet. My feet sometimes get hot. It just depends on the situation. My hands will get hot. I had this thing that happened to me where my right arm tells me a lot about what's going on in the moment. And if it starts to get tense or stiff or sore, I have to work it out because something's around or something's on, or attach itself to me. Yeah, those are all the symptoms, gone over them. I won't repeat myself anymore. The significance for understanding and using your gut instinct would be to navigate through life with ease, peace, and no worry. It's not textbook, it's not a Bible, but in order to make your day go by a little easier, your week a little easier, you may have had a tough day or week at work, tough day or week dealing with family, friends, partner, kids, like life got you down. It just makes it a lot easier because that negativity that's already weighing on you, you're adding more and more to it. It's like piling on ice cream in a small bowl. It's going to overflow, but it's going to continue to stack. And then the melting part is the problem because now you've got a mess and it's disgusting. So you got to be able to just dump that bowl and try it again. There may be times where you may feel your gut instinct activating. Just the normal like tingling. You may get a tingling. You may start to like understand that everything is starting to happen before it's happening. What's that? It's like a physical premonition. Some people have the ability to have premonitions, but it's like a physical or emotional premonition where something's just like, yo, something's coming. Get ready. It also helps with making big or small life decisions. Like I said, you know what? Instead of gambling, instead of flipping a coin, taking life by chance, I would recommend being able to sit with the decision. Like really, and this is almost like a practice of manifestation. If you're aware of manifestation, you may understand what I'm talking about. If not, let me Google it because I have to Google it. Roller skating said, I used to be visited by the old hag. No, for real? Damn. You know what? I can't even call that crazy because That's crazy. No, that is crazy. That's crazy because you're not the only one to have that story. Like it's, I was just reading up on that like a few months ago. I like to touch back on things just to kind of refresh my memory. But you were visited by the old hag? That's insane. What happened? Like what stopped? Like, when's the last time you got the visit? And what she do? Freaky ass. Don't talk to me. Don't give me attention. um, Manifestation, an event, action, or object that clearly shows or embodies something, especially a theory or on an abstract idea. Didn't like that definition. The action or fact of showing an abstract idea. Didn't like that definition either. A symptom or sign of an ailment. This sucks. So, in my own words, manifestation is being able to conjure up something that you want, something that you believe in. In the words of religion, it's praying to a god. For those who live spiritually or vicariously, it's being able to speak what you want, feeling what you want, and then have it create in that sense of desire that is so strong that you just like want it, like you just put it in the air, or someone to pick it up and go, all right, got you covered, fam. That's manifestation. So you have to think about making your big or small life decisions as manifestation. So sit with it. Let's say you really want this job. Easy one. Being able to use your intuition will allow you to understand if it's the right job for you. If you're wasting your time gathering the experience, I wouldn't say waste your time. If you're gathering the experience to understand this is not the right fit for you, or if it's exactly where you're supposed to be. Example for me, so the job that I work at now, I've applied to this place like 3 times in the span of 8 years. It just wasn't in the cards for me to be there at the time, and they had a lot going on. So now where they're at, it's my time to be there. That's why I'm there. But essentially, whenever I was looking for a job, when I needed one, of course, you would flood the world with resumes and applications, and you're just like, I need something. Especially if they're high paying jobs, you're like, I just need something. And you're hoping and wishing and you're crossing your fingers and you're just like, probably praying, but who knows? And you don't get it. Soul crushing, right? If you think of it differently, you'll start to understand that intuition works. If you were to think of it in a sense like, okay, I put my effort into trying to get these jobs, the one that is the right fit for me will come to me. I'm gonna wait. I'm gonna let let the universe tell me where I'm supposed to go, where my purpose is supposed to be. If you have that kind of mentality, you'll start to see all the stuff that you weren't meant for just passing you by. Oh, rejection, not even a call. You said you didn't get my application. That's crazy because I spent the most time on yours. Gone. And then there's 2 left, and you're like, okay, boils down to 2. I'm putting my faith in the universe. Get a call. Hey, we received your application and want to know if you had time to come in for an interview. It's because you've let it sit there and you've allowed it to come to you. If you try to control things, you will lose that ability to be able to receive what you want. You can't control life. Life is just there to be experienced. But there is a way for you to be able to get what you want by not thinking about it in the sense of I want. I would like this to happen to me. I feel like this is the right fit for me. Ask, let it go, and allow it to flow. Boom. My man Chan. Roller skating says, yep, she wears a lot of layers, old tatty clothes. I feel like I have an idea of what she looks like with you explaining that, because when you first said it, I had an idea. Now that you're mentioning it, I feel like we're probably seeing the same person, and that's so crazy. First, it's white noise, and then she starts speaking and slowly walking towards the bed, and she just stands by the bed saying creepy stuff. I just got chills from my head to my toes. What the hell? The last time that she visited was about 5 years ago. I told her that I love her and she never came back. Killing them with kindness. Damn. Mic drop. That's what's up. You get a gold star and a high five. 1, 2, 3. You, man, that's insane. I love that story. I love it. It'll be yours. I won't act like it's mine, but I love it because when something is trying to attack your, here's the thing about energy. Energy attracts, right? It's all magnetic. Absolutely terrifying. Yeah. I can only imagine how long you've had to go through that though, just to get to that point. Like that was so the growth that it took for you to be able to do that. I'm pretty sure like you've like really grown from that moment more than you actually can imagine. I'm so proud of you. This first time meeting you, but I'm so proud of you. That took a strong sense of like, hey, I want this to end, and that's what it takes. That's what you have to trust your gut to allow yourself to just be able to act on something like that. The Tempest, yo, Hayden, what's up, man? How's it been? Glad to see you. Glad to have you in. Um, you gotta listen to your gut, and then your gut to be able to tell you to rid yourself of that negative energy by just showing it love, because a negative energy attracts, like energies attract. And so I know they say opposites attract, but energy attracts because vibration tends to collect with other vibrations. So like for instance, think of it as a wave. If you take one wave and it brushes back, it starts moving things and it starts controlling everything. And so one little drip of water become a whole ocean. Everything is just a wave and it's just a constant flow. You have to be able to break that flow. Good on you. I love that. But yeah, manifesting your decisions, big and small, just let it out and then let it come. Let it out and let it come, like a boomerang effect. Think of your manifestation as a boomerang. If it's meant for you to have it, then there's no wind, it comes right back. If it wasn't meant for you to have it, well, you threw it in the wind and the wind took it. Time to make a new one. I am good, better now. How are you? How have you been, man? Good to see you. Here's a strong one. Here's a strong example of dealing with and experiencing gut instinct and intuition. Dealing with someone that you may have distrust for. So the honesty complex, knowing that you're around someone who's dishonest. Like, so for instance, someone's coming to you, hey, like, you have this, I feel like we all have the same feeling when you're walking through the mall and you're going through those, you're walking past those kiosks where like, my friend, come try jewelry, or hey, cell phone case, or hey, nail kit, come. Nah, I don't want it. No, come here. It's easy. All you have to do is this. No, you're lying. Because you're just about to hit me over the head with these prices. You got this for little to nothing, but you're selling it 5 times the actual value. I don't want it. We are very uneasy with people who run those kiosks. Why? Because they're persistent. They're very, what do you call it? Persuasive. And you hate feeling that way because you just got. I've got. I spent $120 that I didn't really have on a nail kit I didn't need. I got. It happens to the best of us. But you can also deal with someone who's like friend or family and it just don't feel right. Even with new people, maybe you've met someone new and you just like get this weird feeling about it. You're like, no, I don't know what it is, but I don't like that person. There's people who have been very strong about not liking people, and then there's been people who are just kind of like, I have a weird feeling, so I will be civil, cordial, but I won't get deep into the situationship that is to be whatever this is. For example, we've all dealt with liars. We've all dealt with people who deceive. You've probably been in the state to look someone in the eye and feel them lying to you, to know that they're lying to you. The feeling that you have that they're lying to you with all the proof that they're lying. There's a feeling there if you've allowed yourself to feel it, because there's something about you that's wanting you to get the answer. You want that answer. Something's pushing you to get that answer out, that truth. So you want more. Did you go out last night? No? Sure. You took a little longer to text and respond. I mean, it's okay if you did. I just, wanted to make sure you were okay. No, I didn't go out. Huh. Who's this? Insert picture of people. I mean, yeah, I went out for like a little bit, but you just said you didn't go out at all. something like that. You feel yourself pushing for the answer because you know there's a truth that you're not receiving. It's a very tough situation to be in because as much as you want to push and push and push, some people will continue to lie to you and make you feel like you're the crazy person. Some people literally want to make you feel like you are insane and that they are innocent. They will play the game and they will play with not only you, they'll play with everyone. Some people have a knack for lying. It's not even second nature, it's their first nature. Their first breath with answering a question is a lie. And I was dealing with that for years. Years. Not about me though. Caden says, I've been playing with my cousin on Genshin Impact or Call of Duty. You got number 6? You got Black Ops 6? I won't be playing Titanfall 2 tonight. I'm going to be hanging out. Man, good for you. Go ahead and get you some air. I don't know what I'm doing tonight either, but I might. Roller Skating says, I've been through the psychiatric system. I've met a lot of liars. Ooh. Possibly as authority. Or posing as authority. Oh, okay. I've heard about psychiatric system and like people who were drug addicts and everything. Oh man, so heavy on the line. Just trying to, yeah. No, I definitely understand where you're coming from on that. Another example of being able to use your intuition or feeling the experience of intuition is when you're being morally tested. Here's a strong one, just to kind of give it to you guys right off the bat. If you had the ability to take someone's life, let's say you're either holding the gun or you're holding the knife to the neck, and you're so amped to do it, you're so ready to do it because something dramatic happened, some big tragedy that just caused you to be so angry, so emotional to want to take someone's life, get close to doing it. Something stops you. Come on. That right there is your gut instinct holding you back. Probably some ancestors, probably some spirit guides telling you, do not do this. The next step in completing this task will ruin your life. Plus, it's morally wrong. Don't do it. But something is stopping you from pulling. Something is stopping you from going. And you just sit there and you just so paralyzed with confusion that you just can't make the move, and you finally just you're angry because you couldn't do it, but you know it was the right thing to do not to do it. There's a tug with your intuition saying not the right thing to do, and you'll battle with it. It doesn't have to be that intense, right? It could have been something like getting out of the car and fighting somebody because you got in a wreck, or going off on that server because she messed up your food the third time. Even with handling children as parents, sometimes you just want to morally you're being tested because you have to understand to align yourself and second guess your choice, your decision in the moment. And it doesn't have to be anger. It could be it's mostly anger. But something even like happiness, like what you would consider your own happiness, could be in selfishness, and you're probably hurting someone. But because you're chasing your own joy, your own happiness, it could be hurting someone, and you're forced to not make the decision because it's selfish. Depression. It can happen there too. And I think one big one is taking your own life. It's just to be straightforward with it. I will say this, it does take a sense of courage to do it. Like, I don't think we understand the volume, how heavy it is to complete the task of ending it. But it takes a lot. It does take a lot. As easy as some people have made it seem, it takes a lot. But as far as being sad or upset or depressed, that would be one big one. It's just something will pull you and say, hey, no, not today. There's much more to live for. We can figure it out, we can experience it. And then I want to take a moment to give a moment of love and peace and understanding and acknowledgement to anyone who's lost anyone to themselves. Uh, I've I've had my experiences. I'm sure we've all in the chat and who's watching have had their experiences. So I just want to take a moment to acknowledge them and understand what you went through. I wish it could have been better. Wish there was more that could have been done. Sorry. Sorry, some things pushed you so far to make the decision you did, but I do appreciate that you're no longer hurting. But I wish there was a better way. And then, with being morally tested, sometimes it could be something as simple as apologizing and then admitting when you're wrong and being held accountable for your mistakes. Something in your gut is telling you to make the leap to apologize. And you can choose to ignore it or you can choose to own it and relinquish the negativity between you and another party in any way, shape, or form. The biggest thing that you can do when it comes to a situation that causes discourse, apologize. You may not think it'll help, but it does way more than you can ever imagine if you're the person who made the mistake. There's a moral tug when you're forced to need to apologize for even the smallest things or the hugest things. And even if it's not accepted, at least you did it. You made the act to do it. If something is tugging on you to do something and you know it's right, but you force yourself to not do it because you're being stern on your what's the word I'm looking for? On your selfishness, it'll circle back. And here's the thing about karma, as Chan was talking about, and gut instinct, you will be in a vicious cycle until you get it right. And we've probably all experienced this. You have dealt with the same situation over and over and over again, different person, different environment, different scenario, same thing. You have experienced it over and over and over again until you get it right. Once you get it right, you break that cycle and you move on to the next lesson to learn. It gets easier so long as you allow yourself to apply every rule that you've learned about life. And one of those is being held accountable and apologizing, owning up to your mistakes, accepting the fact that you made the mistake, but don't hold it to the point to where it's like, I'm bound by my mistake. It defines me. Don't let that happen. We all make mistakes. Mistakes happen. There are error in the codes of life. Those are mistakes. People make mistakes. We have to be able to understand this stuff happens. Things happen. We may get frustrated. We get upset. We got to learn to let that go. I am very much working on it because I have a problem with some things. My anger has controlled my life so much. I am not one to talk, but I understand. I know where I'm at and I know what I need to work on. I'm one who needs to let some stuff go, especially now. So I'm not just talking out of my ass thinking I'm perfect. I am going through some stuff and I'm learning to release it, be okay with it, accept it. I can't change the fact. I can't control the fact. I can only control how I react, how I move forward. It is a struggle. Only because we want to control things. When you release that sense of control and you just let it be, that freedom is just so overwhelming. It cascades you with just a sense of purity and bliss. And you look back and wonder why you held on to it for so long. You can't control it. You can change it though. You can change you and how you let it affect you. And you learn from it. Caden says, what you been up to? Man, I've been living. I've been getting back into this, but I've been living, man. Roller Skating says, I've been in the position where I don't want to live lots of times, but never where I want to die. I've always wanted to live in the future, if you know what I mean. You got to do what's best for yourself. Sorry for the caps there. Nah, shout that. Shout that shit. You've got to do what's best for yourself. Feel it in your chest. Caps that all day, every day. And I completely understand where you're coming from. I've been in the position where I don't want to live. Man, preaching to the choir. And I've been in the position where I wanted to I felt both. I felt it all. And I'm so grateful that I've come out of those thoughts for the most part. I found my purpose. I've established myself to understand what I'm able to accomplish by being surrounded by the love, the people that I live for, and that's anyone that I come in pack with. It's a growing responsibility, but it's a responsibility I can definitely take because it helps me, it helps people. If I can help someone one day at a time in the life that we live, in the life that has been lived as humanity has begun, we need the kind of help. We need to help each other. I said, in times of anger, it's nearly always best to be graceful and let it go. Absolutely. And it's even though you've practiced it and you've come to understand how to do it, sometimes you may hit those points where you're just like, we're being tested again. What am I doing? It's always the challenges, the difficulties of life vary depending on whether or not you've been through it, whether you've probably been through it, but it's like, hey, here's a review. Like, you play a video game and you know there's a hard level. It's difficult. You know how to get through it, but it's difficult. Oh, this is such a good episode. You guys are awesome. All right. And so then lastly, one of the instances of having intuition is good feelings, good luck, chance. Here's one easy one: gambling. Or, being able to talk to a hot girl and get somewhere with, I don't know, luck and chance. Gambling's a good one. Dan had good luck one time when we went gambling, and I sat there with the stink face like, this shit ain't fair. I can't gamble. I'm bad at it because I'm bad at it in the sense that, like, if I start losing money, I'm like, why did I even come here? Why am I doing this? Why it's a waste of money? I could have bought this and this and that. I'm a horrible gambler. Can't gamble. Learned that the hard way, and it was very short lived. Will not do it ever again. Let's see. So, to sum everything up here, we're going to talk about the why. Why believe in it? Why assume it? Why utilize it? Again, life is meant to be experienced through feeling, not just for seeing. We have to be able to manage our emotions and thoughts to be able to strengthen our gut instinct. It helps sift through the negative. We've already discussed that. Moving on. Here's one that I really felt very strongly about. Numb feelings, or as we know, a cold heart, being cold-hearted, as we all know, is a coping mechanism. It's learned behavior. With enough experience and training, you can unlearn the behavior and seek healthy options to express your feelings and drain that negative energy that may have manifested from the events that caused it. I was horrible at this. Horrible. Oh my Jesus. And when we're younger, especially with the lack of help with social media, we got into this behavior of, fuck feelings or no love, all this dumb stuff that we thought we were cool about saying because we were hurt once. All that mentality and holding that emotion, just trying to numb your feelings, just not letting people hurt you. It's not that you're not letting them hurt you. You're so used to being hurt, you stay in that hurt state. So there's no adding to it because it's the same thing over and over and over. It's like, oh, you cheated? Okay, well, saw that coming. Oh, you cheated? Oh, okay, well, saw that coming. Oh, you cheated? Well, I'm used to it now. You're just like, you've opened up a hole to let things continue. It's not a big enough hole to where everything pours out, but it's enough to keep that reciprocal filled, but it's still flowing, and it's flowing constant negativity. So you got to be able to close it, change out the contents that you're pouring into it. You got to be able to unnumb those feelings. You got to warm that heart. You got to let things in. And part of it is that we allow, and again, the cycle, You allow things to continue because you haven't learned your lesson. You know, sometimes learning the lesson is seeing the signs and applying everything that you've learned. Like if you're constantly the one being cheated on, maybe you should have been able to pay attention to the signs of someone showing you they deliberately do not care or to consider you. And that happens in multiple people. They all do the same thing. You recognize life as a pattern until you break the pattern, and then you can live a different life. It took me a very long time to understand that. Like, I'm still trying to understand it. I was law of attraction. That was what I was looking for earlier. Thank you. Finally. I appreciate it. Law of attraction. But yeah, like it's just like riding a bike. It's like doing anything that takes training. It takes practice. There is a sense of practice with learning how to deal with pain, with dealing with heartbreak, with dealing with heartache, with dealing with not getting your way. There is a way to train it, and some people just don't want to put in the effort, so they live by it. And so, like, you know, as you get older, you start seeing people who are about your age or older, and they're still posting stuff about, oh, no love and won't ever find anybody to love. Like, come on. Like, you got to understand, it's like something about you that's causing you to go through this again and after again after again. And people don't want to have that conversation. And sometimes you just try to tell them, they're like, nah, it's other people, it's men, it's bitches. It's not. It's probably you. And you know, it's probably you because it's either you being the toxic factor or you being the naive factor. We take relationships, friendships, tragedies, situations as a sense of like, oh, what's only happened to me. I understand it's happened to other people, but it's only happened to me. Therefore, no one understands me. You got to understand that people get it. And we're trying to help you get through your situation. Understand we get it. There's no, oh, no one gets me. We get it. I mean, you don't get that you can pull yourself out of the situation and be okay. And people make that their life though, because they get that sense of attention where they're okay with the pain so long as they're getting like babied, you know? And people like that. They're like, people, oh, what's wrong? What's going on? Tell me. And they just eat that up, you know? That's also toxic behavior. Your eyes. These two balls right here, if you got them. Your eyes can play tricks on you because it works with the light as a brain function, as a muscle. The gut instinct, although with scientific provisions of understanding, can come from your soul, your spirit, and it's telling you about the unknown surroundings or people or the near future. So again, coming back to the physical premonition of of intuition, you could also have a mental premonition. It happens. But something about your intuition is telling you to be aware of the near or distant future. And you got to be able to kind of, you know, straighten up, you know, make sure you're guarded because I think the test of morality starts with understanding you're receiving that intuition for a reason. So when you understand you're receiving it, you're like, okay, nothing's happening yet. We'll wait on it to see. So now you've got to straighten up. You got to keep your morals in check. You got to keep your spirit up. You got to keep your emotions in check. You got to be guarded. Something's coming. Something is an attack. The attack is coming, and if you're not careful, it will be a preemptive strike, and you will have befallen. Joke's on you. No tokens. Game over. You can begin to learn how to train the sensation of your gut instinct to where it's a habit. Muscle memory. It can feel less overwhelming and can allow yourself to be able to utilize the feeling and interpret the signs, alerts, or warnings. So, having the training of understanding what's like, it's just, I think the best way to describe it in this sense is if you require corrective lenses or contacts, take them off. Take them off and look around. Play with how unwell you can see. And then understand what it took for you to be able to see again. You had to put in the effort of knowing you were blind. You had to put in the effort of being able to set up an appointment to test for that blindness. You had to understand that you have a prescription now for glasses and possibly contacts. You had to put in the effort to get and purchase said glasses and or contacts. Lastly, it's wearing them comfortably and knowing that you have to live this way for the rest of your life. And then of course you got side quest A, where it's like, oh, I lost or broke my corrective eyewear, I have to replace them. So in a sense, in that kind of sense, you have to build that muscle memory, you have to build that training to be able to understand what you're seeing and feeling. So take that and apply it to your intuition. Knowing the feeling. Okay, I know this feeling. It starts right here. Oh, I know this feeling. This is different, but I know it. What's going on? Oh, my feet are hot and it's not hot. Like nothing's happening that should have been able to change it. What's going on? And mind you, I say all this not to say that every time you feel something, it's like, oh, what's happening? Your body's probably telling you something too. Like it's probably something you ate. Probably stress. You probably need sleep. Probably need to drink some water, some electrolytes. You know, you just have that's that understanding of being able to sift through everything because you feel like a squirrel in the moment. You're like, have I slept? Have I eaten? What did I eat? What is this feeling? When you start to understand it's not physical, it's not pointing towards your physicality. Start allowing your brain, the neural drip, start attacking your gut. And you start letting your soul speak to you. You go, okay, something in the air isn't right. We start to feel the surrounding, the aura shift. Start to know that your awareness is starting to kick in. And then you start to understand how far away from where you're at now in the moment is that change going to come to you. Start to tell yourself, okay, not my body. I'm good. I drank water. We slept well. The aura has shifted. And it could be temperature. It could be density. Where I feel like there's heaviness, like fog. It probably got hotter. It probably got colder. And then like it's those dramatic shifts, not just like, oh, it was 10 a.m. and 68 degrees, now it's 1 p.m. and now it's 85. It's not like that. Dramatic meaning like it was warm and now it's cold. Probably spirits in the house. It was like you can breathe well, now you feel like you're climbing a mountain. Something heavy is around you. It's probably cold and you got hot. There's a warning alerting you to be aware because something's around. There's always a shift. It's a dramatic shift. Oh, okay, and it says energetic. Yes, thank you so much. Everything is telling you to be prepared. So when you start to understand that there's an alert for preparedness, start to be like, okay, maybe thinking like what happened around me within the past 24 hours, week, month? Who did I affect? Is there any unresolved feelings? And if you can't boil it down to that, understand that you've allowed your awareness to let you know something's coming. Let it be. So you can keep your guard up by making sure you do right by people, that you're checking on your health, that you're checking on the people that you have around you. You know, if you start to, I say this because I sometimes do it myself. You're around people and actually, I'm not reading from anything. Well, I read from my second screen of like some of the stuff, but like right now, I'm just kind of talking. And this is all stuff that I typed out. Like the "your eyes can play tricks on you" part. I typed that out and I read that. But we lose this sense of being able to see people. Like we can notice that they're there, but we can see them. If you remain still with yourself and your actions internally and externally and just watch people react around you, kind of get a sense that they're trying to gauge you. They're gauging your energy. And if you can keep that stillness, those people allow you to read them without even knowing it. And I'll tell you right now, people know that you do it, they hate it. Some people hate it because they don't like to be read, and there's something about them that they're trying to hide. So when people don't like to be read, those are red flags. But you can watch people operate around you and you just kind of go, huh, you're acting squirrelier than normal, or you're acting a little more calmer than normal. You know, there's always something about people where you just kind of look at them and you like, there's something. I won't assume there's something, If you just wait, you let it show itself, you let it reveal itself, you let it come to you, you can just, you get a sense of like, oh, I did this a lot when I was working at the bar. People would always come running rumors, running their mouths. I'm like, I'm just listening, because how I watch people operate is where I find my truth. And it's easy with people at the bar. They're vulnerable, they're drunk, they're drinking, they're loose, and it's just easy. Some people are a little more reserved. Bioenergenetics. I like you. I like you. Some people are so reserved that they try to mask it. And people do put on a facade and get out in public. It's crazy. But if you just sit, you observe, and you just watch how people move, it's so crazy how true you can find things, and how like how real, like how true the answers can be for you. You're just like, oh, I'm figuring this all out by saying nothing. Is it observing? People watching can reveal so much. It can. But you allow your intuition to just like let it all play out. You start seeing people move. You can see ethereal trails of those people moving. Like, another way of knowing that you've got good intuition, or you got good energy, or just energy period, if you move your hand, kind of see that it's like copies of itself floating by after it, ethereal trails. I read a book about bioenergetic and energetics once. Can you give me the title of that book? I'd like to look that up and possibly look into it. I will say this. I've got a list of books about energy and spirituality that I've been really getting into. So just I'm trying to keep up with it. I'm trying to stay focused, because like I know I have a untapped energy or ability of being able to do things. Now I'm like trying to learn how to control it. Listening to your body, being able to understand how to make things happen, and then reading and learning from other people who already know how to do what you're learning to do. Very helpful. It's very helpful. But yeah, like doing this and just being able to see the ethereal flow of your hand. If you slow your body down, your mind down, do it again, it lasts longer. Like, it's so crazy. It almost feels like you're tripping. If you've ever taken LSD or anything like that, or psychedelics, you know what I'm talking about. But yeah, it can definitely help you when it comes to people. Like for me, it really did help. Like, I knew when people were lying to me about the dumbest stuff too. Like, I know when I'm lying and I try to make it stuff sound good. I have a tell. Sometimes I just go, yeah, so I do this, like, especially if I'm asking for something, or like if I'm talking to work and I have to ask off. I don't know why. I'm an adult who can just tell people I'm not coming into work today. But like sometimes I get to this point, hey, I need to take off because I'm lying. But it's definitely helped me with people, because like if I allow myself to just kind of feel this person by watching them, people I think people know when I'm doing it. Like, I don't do it on purpose sometimes, most times. Sometimes I'm like, hey, how's it going? But other times I'm just kind of like sitting there. It's so, I guess, second nature to me. Like, I'll just sit there, and a lot of times when I'm talking to people, I don't like necessarily look them in the eye, because I feel like there are people who, if I look them in the eye, there's an attachment that I don't want. And so like I can attach to you by doing eye contact. But if I'm not looking in your eye, there's probably something keeping me from doing it. And sometimes it's not me doing it on purpose. Like, it's something's like literally like I don't want to, But yeah, attachments, your gut probably be telling you about attachments. Thank you. Got it. Hell yeah. Thanks for that. Wait. Oh, I thought it said 36 pages. I was like, okay. 368. Sweet. I'm gonna add that to the list. I feel that. The revolutionary therapy that uses the language of the body to heal the problems of the mind. Thank you. Thank you so much. I hope you stick around for the long run. Um, just to kind of wrap here, 'cause I'd like to hit a 2 minute or 2 hour mark. This has been so fun. Um, yeah, just let your intuition lead you on your judgment. And that's a big thing too. I missed not like typing it, but judgment is so big. You don't want to assume. You don't want to judge anyone or anything. Let your intuition tell you how things play out. Let it decide. Let it be the decider, because you could be thinking and feeling something's going on, but with your judgment, you were probably wrong. You let your intuition tell you what is and what isn't, and you could save yourself the embarrassment. You're like, oh, whew. Like for me, um, like I said earlier, there were times I wanted to be petty about some things and just be who I used to be. Good thing I didn't, because there were times I would have made some comments or posts and I would have been looking stupid. And I'm sitting there like, oh, I want to do it so bad. I'd have it queued up, ready to go. I'm like, oh, just one button. And I'm like, nah, like, what's the point? Like, I'm wasting energy. I look dumb. You know, backspace, delete, whatever. And then later on, come to find out, I was like, good thing I didn't do that. Or just like I would feel better about not doing it, because then I was probably right about not doing it. Where I would see or find some, like, I'd a lot of times I'm hearing about it, but sometimes I might see it. But like I'd find out something happened. I'm like, oh, well, good thing I didn't play into the game and look stupid. Okay, go me. um, this can help you read the people better, faster, sooner. Just training. And then my thing was like, that's where I really got my training with people, is working at the bar, because I was really like, even with people, whether you're drinking or not, I can tell. I was doing so well with it. I started playing games. Like I would, share a couple laughs with some friends. I'd be like, hey, yo, look, check this out. This person's about to do this. They're about to do that. And it's because it's all pattern. It's all pattern based. You can pick up on people's behaviors and know their characteristics and know what they're gonna do. It's simple, but the intricacies about it is knowing people will do something a month ahead. And I did that a few times, and I even amazed myself. I'm like, I did say that was gonna. Another example is I used to work at Chili's on a military base, and it was like the first one that was ever established on a military base. So if you know anything about the military, you know that it's big for affairs, whether you're a dependent or the soldier, and whether you're male or female, doesn't matter. They're big on affairs. It's like you could be dating another soldier and cheat. You can have a wife or a husband at home. You cheated, they cheated. Big on cheating. So we would play this game where new servers would come in, and we'd be like, hey yo, how long you think until? And we'd have like a Deadpool of when these people would cheat, because they'd come in like, oh yeah, I have a husband, like he takes care of me, like I hold it down for him, like he's my strong man, he's my hero. Bitch about cheating a month, give it a month. We would just select our guests, and I can't I can't make this up. We were right 90% of the time. I laugh about it, but then I'm like, being the adult that I am now, wanting um, a partner for life, like especially what I just went through. Mm-mm, mm-mm, no, it's sad. It's very sad, because like that being in that experience killed a lot of hope for me in marriage. I was watching that. I was listening to people talk about their partner. But, oh, and then it's like, it wasn't your husband's pee pee in your mouth last night, though. Buying whore. Or that wasn't your wife he was talking to, homie. Stupid. It was very soul crushing as a young 20 something year old. But, I got over it. People are people. I've reinstilled my hope, because I know the feeling and I know what I want. So, gotta sift through those thoughts and emotions. People are people, their actions aren't mine. I did to get with a couple wives though. I'm like, anyway. We tend to pick up. Oh, sorry, skip one. People operate similarly yet differently, and that's the pattern I was talking about. People can do the same things, think the same way, but they may do it a little different, and it's kind of interesting, but also it's like scary, because then if you find yourself being individualized, where like you can mess with a lot of people in a lot of groups, but you always feel alone, or you may not have a lot of people to communicate with, but you always feel alone. It may be for good reason. We may look at it as like a negative thing because it's like, oh, I have no one to talk to. I've got no one to hang out with. That's probably a good thing. Having too many people to hang out with and talk to is a bad thing. Because one, where's all this time coming from? And two, that's just too much. Your circle does not need to be that big. It doesn't. It does not, because that just gets very, very crazy. We tend to pick up on behaviors we find interesting to us and apply it to our everyday behavior. So whether you think it or not, you're probably doing something that someone did in front of you or something that you found interesting. I'm bad about it, and a lot of it stems from movies and TV shows, or like funny shit. I always do funny shit, but like it's just I pick up on a lot of things. I'm like, oh, I want to be this way, because like it makes me feel good. Not always the worst thing to do. It just depends on what it is that you're doing. Some people have that mentality wrong, and they gotta learn the hard way. Some people have it right, but I think knowing that we go through life being surrounded by so many influences, it's not a bad thing to pick on behaviors and be a little different from who you were yesterday, because it just, you know, energy sticks to you. So you're going to be changed, you're going to be affected, and that's okay. So long as you're not spamming it, like, acting like it was yours or act like it's something you've done all your life, it's okay. It is definitely okay. Lastly, thinking of a way to abuse your gut instinct would be diving into the deeper realm that most people aren't prepared to talk about, but it can be a controllable ability. What I mean by that, I feel like I touched on earlier, is that using this for greatness instead of using it for, injustice. Like, I've done it. When you can physically create when you can I think I've done it once, and I never wanted to do it again, but when you can physically if you can manifest your intuition to make it someone else's life or future, you're playing with realms that you have no idea what you're doing, and that can come back on you. It's not fair to the person, like it's like trying to manifest someone to be in your life and you try to force it. You do anything and everything to do it. It's not fair to them. They didn't have that chance to, not only say no, but like stop you from being that way, or trying to take a position from someone that deserves it, but because you want it so bad, you're forcing things to be in your favor. Again, not fair. It's almost like playing with a voodoo doll. If you have any idea what that is, it's like doing that. Do it for good. Do it for the good of people, and understand the best way to think about it is have a God complex about it. Know that you have a responsibility, and to do it the right way. You can't overdo it. You can't do it for just anyone. Um, that's like people coming up to you and praying like, "Oh, hey, give me what I want, and I will be this way for you," and it doesn't ever last. You've given someone something that they don't deserve, and you've given it over someone who deserves it. So have a complex about it, but in a sense of like it's for good, for the greater good. So sometimes you can't always grant someone who's really hoping and wishing, because it's not their time, it's not their purpose, it's not their reality. We may want what we want, but we have to understand, and a lot of times we can't get what we want, and we got to be okay with it, because life is full of material. Especially now, life is full of material, and we act like we need every little bit of it. We don't. We got to be okay with just the little things. We got to find a little bit here and there that we like, and we're like, okay, cool. We want things in excess. That's the problem. That's one of the problems in life, is that we want excess, and we don't need it. there's no room for it, and it just becomes congestion and distraction. So definitely learn how to utilize it for the greater good. And if you feel like you're putting yourself in a deeper position to get in those deep realms of using it for abuse, just stop. Take a break. There's a way that you can cut it off. Just ignore it. You don't want to be that person who's messed up someone's life because you were playing a game that you didn't know how to win or lose or quit. I've been there. I've seen it happen. I've experienced it myself. I've had to help myself and people out of abuse of abilities, and it gets serious. I've put myself in some deep shit, and won't go too far into details, but it's when you don't know what you're doing, it's the worst, especially when it affects people around you. It's just so overwhelming, and it's been very scary. But when you train yourself to like take it one step at a time and learn how to use your ability for just, intents and purposes, you're gonna be okay. Don't abuse it. Man, I got a lot out of this episode. I'm proud of myself. I'm proud of the interaction. Roller skating, pleasure to have you. Hope we get to see you more in the future. Final thoughts. I do want to have some final thoughts though. Everyone feel free to put a final thought on what you felt, what you gathered out of this episode. Believe what you want. The next time you get a feeling that makes you take a second to think about it, try to listen to it. But believe what you want. The signs are there. And it's just, if you want to be intuitive, listen. If not, it's okay. Let things play out how you would like them to play out. Put in the effort to make things happen for you. Life is never granted. Things just tend to happen because we've been able to put in the effort and follow our path. But just give it a listen, and I'm sure you'll find some kind of solace and be able to center yourself with it. Roller Skating says you're welcome. Thanks for the wisdom. Hope to see you streaming more. Are you still doing music? I very much am. I am working on putting some stuff out soon. I keep telling people soon, and I'm just like stare at the screen. But no, I've got some stuff coming out soon because I really want I want some content pushed for the holidays so I can work on other things. But yeah, no, I've got a couple things coming out. I've got a mix coming out. Yeah. You said hope to see me streaming more. I really thank you for saying that. It's been a battle to get back into it because of everything I've been going through, but today was, yeah. No, you're gonna see me more, and I hope to see you around too. I hope we get to know each other better. I really appreciate it. Chan, had a feeling earlier and I saw you live. We always got the feelings. Oh, dances with trees. Oh, okay. Oh. Awesome. Okay. Chan says perfectionist. No, I'm just self-abuse, mental abuse with thinking I have to. Yeah, perfectionist. Thinking it has to be right when I just gotta like play with it and then go back and rework it. Yeah. Nail on the head. Ooh, oh man. I just bought Amplitude 5. Oh, you did? Okay. I actually, what was it? Splice. I've been playing with Splice. Is it Splice? Yeah, I've been playing with Splice. I ended up getting that, and I've been playing with that. Fun. Still learning it, but yeah, definitely fun. So it's giving me quite the idea. So yeah, that's why I'm more excited to. I know. That's why I'm more excited to put stuff out because I've been playing with that. I'm like, Oh boy, where has this been all my life? I got the summer producer bundle. Hell yeah. Guitar amp sim, so I'm going to do some playing now after I've eaten some lentil and chickpea soup. Oh, are you streaming? Or are you just playing? Yeah, Splice I started. I think I want to get into another one just because I have the funds. But I'm gonna do some more looking around. I was trying to get comfortable with Splice first before I moved on to something else because it's a lot happening all at once. But yeah, no, I'm getting into it. Oh, just playing. Okay. Well, I hope you have fun, and I'm gonna keep my eyes out for your content because what you had provided before, I enjoyed. I'm trying to remember that one that I really liked, but yeah, yeah, you got some stuff that I really enjoy, so I'll definitely keep my eyes and ears open for that. But it's I've hit my 2 hour mark. I'm trying to keep it at 2 hours so when I edit the videos, I can put them down to an hour. This was fun. I can't thank you guys enough for joining in, keeping me entertained, just listening. Arturia V collection or pigments. Let me put that in one more time. That was the one I was. Oh, yeah, yeah, yeah. We're gonna keep it going. So I'll think of another good topic for the next week or two. I don't know if I'm gonna hit Thanksgiving or not, or probably the week. Well, I can't do the week after. I'm gone. I'm gone. So I'll probably. Is it? Is next Thanksgiving's next week, right? Yeah. Okay. That's something to listen to while working. Oh, you are at work. So, yeah. Be seeing me next week. All right, see you later. Thanks a lot, man. Yeah. Probably be on next week, but I'll keep up with the socials, of course. You guys will get the notifications, of course. Um, I'm rambling. It's been fun. Glad to be back. Thank you guys. Thanks for tuning in. Everyone have a good night. Be safe this weekend. And then if I don't see you, happy holidays. Eat a lot, share a lot. Here.